First responders, thank you for all that you do. I'm Garrett Martin of the Alberta First Responder Mortgage Program, a program I put together myself. After spending 8.5 years in law enforcement, I got my mortgage broker's license, and now I'm a proud sponsor of the Alberta First Responder Association and doing mortgages for first responders. No matter where you are in Canada, reach out. We're talking exclusive rate discounts, cashback offers, and guidance from someone who's been in your boots. I know the demands of the job, and I know how to make homeownership easier. Whether you're buying, renewing, or refinancing, I'll compare top lenders from across Canada to save you money. So visit GarrettMartinMortgages.com or text me at 403-915-1025 and let's get to work for you. Thank you for your service.
Sirens, Slammers, and Service, a podcast for female first responders by female first responders. My name is Nikki Cloutier, and I will be your host. As a former correctional officer in Alberta for almost 2 decades and the founder of Blue Line Fitness Testing, which provides law enforcement fitness testing and first responder wellness workshops, I started this podcast as a way for female first responders to share the trials, tribulations, and triumphs of their daily work. I want to showcase the unique perspectives, skill sets, and personalities that women bring to a first responder career and share their stories. So get ready to laugh your ass off, learn a whole bunch, and be inspired by some pretty badass women. Let's go. Welcome back, guys. Season 9. And oh my God, I brought back one of my favorite people in the whole entire world. We are joined today again by Sheila Farrell. And I cannot believe this. So Sheila was literally my very first guest on the podcast way back 3 years ago. So almost 3 years ago, the podcast dropped. She was the very first person that I actually thought of when I was like, I think I'm going to do this podcast thing. And I was like, Sheila, you want to be on it? And she was like, yeah, I want to be on it. And I was like, okay, you're going to be my first guest. And so we cut our teeth together. It was so much fun. Your episode was fucking hilarious. Then I brought her back. She was on our mishaps of uniforms, women or female first responders in our fucking uniforms. Also, highly entertaining stories. Yeah. She chimed in at the end of season 8 with some really great, what's the most fucked up things that have ever happened to you as a first responder stories. And now she's back for season 9. She's coming back to tell us all about being an incident response paramedic. So when we last talked to Sheila, she had just become an advanced care paramedic. And so she kind of talked to us about that journey. And now 3 years down the road, you've been with IRP, an Incident Response Paramedic, for 3 months. And we're going to dive into it. But first of all, hi, how are you? Welcome back.
Well, thanks for having me back. I can't believe it's been 3 years.
I know. I literally, as I was getting ready for this, I was like thinking, I'm like, 2022. And I was like, I feel like it was the summertime when we were talking last time. And then I looked and yeah, August of 2022 was when your episode dropped, which is freaking crazy. And like the fact that you've been at advanced care for 3 years already is another crazy thing. Like crazy.
Like the process of getting that training done and everything. And I just remember being like so stressed out about it. And then now I've been doing it for 3 years.
I love that. I love that for you. And you're enjoying it. You were like, you're liking the new responsibility. You're not finding it was too, I mean, I'm sure obviously in like the first couple months, it was like, what the fuck? But like the new responsibility and stuff like that, you're like really loving kind of that role.
Oh, definitely. Like just because I was already doing the job as a PCP for so long, you're kind of hindered from being able to be in charge at all times. And so once you've been doing it for a while, it's just like, okay, no, I need to be in charge because it's just like, I want things done the way I want it done. And that's not to be like my way or the highway, but it's just like for an ACP, everyone looks to you to control a scene.
Yeah.
And yeah, because you have the more training. And yeah, you can have a PCP that's been doing it for 20 years and they actually might be in charge of that scene because you have I think I mentioned a 0 to hero ACP where go to school, do all the schooling right off the bat, but 0 experience on the road. And they have no idea what's going on. They have deer in the headlights look, so sometimes the PCP has to step in. I wanted to have more responsibility. Also wanted the pay increase because I was tapped out as a PCP, couldn't make any more money. And yeah, still want more money, but that's a whole other story that we can easily talk for an hour about.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, It's been good. I've had a lot of good calls, a lot of interesting calls, a lot of stressful calls where it falls on me. And but it was, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I stuck with it. And yeah, so then 3 years in, an opening happened at work. we have specialties teams within EMS. And I got on with Incident Response Paramedics, which we call IRP, or some people like to call us ERP team. So there's a lot of jokes we like to have, of course. Yeah, especially with the TEMS crew, the tactical crew, we love chirping each other, and it's all for fun, of course.
That is the thing, right? When you have those specialty groups, it's like, oh, we're calling so-and-so. Oh, and then they get there and it's like, just like dig at each other, all in fun. Yes. But yeah, some of the things, and then like the best is when they get you with something and then you have nothing to come back with and you're just like, oh, fuck. And then you have to wait till like the next call and you're like, I've been thinking about this for the last like 2 weeks and now I got a good comeback.
Right? So like, I finally got a comeback.
Yeah, totally. So explain to me, because I feel like I know what it is, but then I also feel like I have no fucking clue. You have a cool new patch, which I'm going to put up because I think it's such a cool patch. But what exactly is an incident response paramedic?
Yeah, so it's actually provincial, so all of Alberta. So we respond to a bunch of things. Comparing it to TEMS, or the tactical EMS, they're going to, with tactical EPS, right, or even RCs, they're strictly going to that stuff. With IRP, we are doing fire stuff, so structure fires, forest fires, anything fire related. Poison control, we have any hazmat stuff, like anything, gas leaks, spills, stuff like that. And then emergency management as well. So big scene, right? So we have lots of patients, a lot of different agencies on scene. We get a little bit more training on how to handle that situation because everyone's going to be looking at us. It's a little stressful. And unfortunately, also bioterrorism as well, and how some things can be used to harm the public in a big international state. So we get a little training on that one as well. And and radiation as well. So that's a big one as well. We don't see a lot of that here in Edmonton, but we do get the training on it as well. The biggest one I think that we use mostly is, of course, with the fire stuff. A lot of structure fires and forest fires, and a lot of infection control stuff too. So a lot of travel. A lot of people think about this. Like, I know at times, like during COVID, right? You always ask those questions right off the bat. You walk in someone's house, any chance of these symptoms and stuff like that. Any travel. Everyone thinks COVID just went away. It's still around. It's not as bad as it used to be, but we still have to ask those questions of any travel because there's a lot of diseases in other countries, and Canada is wonderful, and we bring everybody into Canada, but that can cause a lot of issues when they are in an area that acts like, it's, for a suggestion, Ebola. There is an outbreak in Uganda, and people will be there and then fly to England and then fly to Canada, and then they get sick in Canada. And Ebola is very, very dangerous. It's an 80% mortality rate if you get in contact with it. Yeah.
Holy crap.
It's not good. But
wow.
So that's we have a big, broad skills. And I have an extra 10 different protocols I have to know because of all of the, how broad our skills are. So we have to know all these little things. So it's a lot of training. And like I just said, I just got on with it in March. It was about a month's training. So I had to be in class for about 2 weeks. Prior to that, I had to do about 30 hours of online training. And I'm still doing training. I'm constantly doing training. I just had a course last weekend, and it was the Advanced Hazmat Life Support course. And it was a lot to learn on that one.
Yeah. So are you working because you're saying a lot with fire and wildfire. So just because I know Michael Maris, who's also been on the podcast with Sandra, he was on the hazmat truck for a long time with Edmonton Fire. So if there's a hazmat call, you guys are going as a dual team to the call? Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
We actually go and hang, during my training, we actually went to their station, Pump 10. And they showed us their equipment, what they have. Because we have to learn how to decon and someone, right? So if they're covered in whatever chemical, mostly fire is going to be doing that stuff because of their gear they have, right?
Yeah.
The level A equipment, they have their mask, everything. We don't have that stuff. But then once the patient's all cleaned off, we're in. We're next, right?
Yeah.
And so we have to know how to do the secondary decon, right? Because yes, you can spray them all off and get everything, but now what's wrong with the patient? Right? How is this affecting them? Is this just on the skin, or is it inhaled? And now is it in their systemic part of their body? Like, so that's the part where we're trained in and more specialized. And that's why we get attached to those calls.
And so when you're talking about like poisoning, so the one that like jumps to my mind would be like carbon monoxide poisoning. Like, like for sure the whole house is contaminated, car was left running, something like that in the garage. Yep. So they're like, the response is like obviously the first, I'm assuming they're calling the paramedics first, the paramedics or fire, I guess, depending on what's going on.
Yeah.
And they're responding. And then are they going like, whoa, shit, no, we're calling in the ERP team. And then you guys are responding to that? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So a lot of certain calls are flagged to already attach us to.
Okay.
So like, a carbon monoxide call, we will automatically get attached to that. And now some calls don't get called in appropriately, of course. And crews have to be very aware of what they're walking into. That's part of your scene safety. But if you're going to like a garage and the car's running, of course, right off the bat, carbon monoxide, you're thinking, right? Yeah. So you're gonna get fire involved, try to open up ventilates and stuff like that. But when I get involved, I have a different monitor, like the LifePak 15, where it takes all our vitals, also a defibrillator within it. I have a different one that can actually measure your CO, because your stat probe that goes on your finger to see how much oxygenated blood you have. When it comes to carbon dioxide, though, it kicks off your oxygen on your hemoglobin. So like, how like you have 4 iron that helps you attach iron or attach oxygen to it, and that's what gives us our hemoglobin. So carbon dioxide actually has more affinity, has more like to that iron, so it actually kicks off the oxygen. That's why we die from it, because we have no oxygenated blood going to our brain and our body. But when you put the sat probe on, it thinks it's oxygen, so it doesn't actually read it appropriately. Yeah, it'll say 100%. You're like, oh, you have 100% oxygen, but it's actually CO. So we have to have specialized equipment to actually properly measure carbon dioxide.
I love that. Okay, so all the kids that are listening, if you're not a kid, also we just got a chemistry lesson there, guys, which is great, because sometimes I need to re-up on my old chemistry. I had to re-up on some physics yesterday, the day before. I had to call Jackie McCoy, who's an engineer, to be like, I need to know the coefficient of friction for this thing. And she was like, M equals blah, 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 times this, times that. And I was like frantically scribbling fucking this thing down. And then I was like, so there's a reason that I'm a business owner and that you're an engineer. So can I just send you what I need the answer to, and then you will send me the answer? She's like, no, let's walk through it. Like we can do this together. And I was like, bitch, please, you're speaking another language. I don't know the words that are coming out of your mouth. I need you to, I need this answer, and I need it in like the next hour. So I'm just going to send you the numbers, and then you can just text me back the answer. So for the kids that are listening, you do need to know your chemistry right there. 4 irons, 4 oxygens to an iron equals blood, hemoglobin. See, learning. And it's going to kick off.
That's why, like, being anemic, right? You have low iron. That's big in women, actually. Yeah. So if you're anemic, you already have most likely a pretty bad hemoglobin levels. But that's why carbon dioxide ends up killing you. It's because it takes away your oxygen molecules out of your system.
Very interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so once I actually know their levels, and it all depends on their symptoms too, right? Like you can walk into a house, you're like, holy, like within like, I don't know, half hour, you have a headache, you're a little dizzy, like your minimal like symptoms. And then you go outside and you ventilate, you're getting good oxygen, usually you're fine. But if you've been in for a prolonged time, and how much carbon dioxide doesn't like make a big difference, right? So we actually transport them to the Misericordia Hospital because they have the hybrid Barrett chamber.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I feel like we talked about this. Maybe it wasn't you, but I feel like it was you and I that talked about this. That's the only hospital in Edmonton that has one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Saskatchewan used to have one, but that one shut down during COVID. So Edmonton is it.
For Western Canada.
Yep.
Holy shit. So what happens if we have a mass casualty? What do we do? I'm glad I'm not the physician in charge of that. Okay. Right.
Yes.
We're just like, here's the people. We've done what we can. take it over.
Yes.
Take it over.
Yeah. They have 3 actual like single ones.
Yeah.
They have 1 on standby for emergencies. So if we could bring somebody in, and then they have 2 for other reasons, because you can use it for other things too, for like wounds.
Okay.
Because the chamber actually bypasses your vascular system, and it goes straight to like a wound where it gets pure oxygen and heals properly.
Huh.
That's why it works with carbon monoxide, because it bypasses everything, goes straight to your circular system, so to help you.
Huh. Yeah. Again, fucking learning. Yeah. So many cool things right now. So many cool things.
Misericordia. Yeah, so we always call ahead, give them a heads up that this is what we have, this is what we're bringing you. And because it could be a garage with a vehicle running, structure fire, it could be a CO. And one of the weirdest calls I had done a long time ago on White Ave, like 20-year-old collapsed, not drinking, denies any drug use, just had a moment of lost consciousness with her family. They were at the hookah bar. Dude, every Wednesday night, like nothing out of ordinary. I'm like, but her vitals are weird. She was just a little out of it. Her blood pressure was a little soft. I was like, I'm so confused. What's going on? I'm like, okay, let's just go to the closest hospital, go to the U of A. And like they were adamant, like they did not drink. They didn't leave their like waters they had. Like some drugged them.
Yeah.
Right. And so we're at the U. All of a sudden, the aunt collapsed. And I'm like, what just happened? Now I have 2 patients with the exact same symptoms. And I'm like, what is going on? So they both get a room finally. I'm giving a report. And eventually the doctor comes and finds me. He's like, where did you find these 2? And I'm like, outside in White Ave. I'm like, well, she collapsed in at triage.
Yeah.
Like, they have carbon monoxide poisoning. So I was like, holy crap. Like the one treatment that I could do was give them high flow oxygen.
Yeah.
And I didn't do that because their oxygen levels are great. I didn't have that.
Yes.
Thing. Okay. I also wasn't thinking of it, right? Because I'm outside, like I'm on confined spaces. Like, didn't even pop up in my head. Yeah. So they had to call the fire department and go to that establishment. There was no carbon monoxide, nothing. So like, this is so confusing. So the doctor or the emergency physician did some research and found out hookahs can actually produce carbon monoxide when you're like smoking it in. Yeah. And that's how they got carbon monoxide poisoning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So they both get transferred to the Misericordia.
That's crazy. Yeah. That is so crazy. Oh my God. Yeah. Cause and again, they say it's a silent killer because you don't know what's happened to them. They just went to sleep and then that's it. They're gone. Wow. Yep. Crazy. So what drew you to this? What made you go because I know again, you've been a paramedic for how many years now? Almost 20, right? Or is it over 20 now?
I think I'm on my 19th year.
Yeah. So so you've seen a lot, done a lot in the normal realm. Yeah. Got the advanced care, loving that. What kind of drew you to this specific side of things?
So 2 reasons. One, I really like that there's more toxicology, pharmacology with this, more of the path, really have to think things through and running scenes, of course, that emergency management. It might be an ego thing. I don't know, but I like being in charge. I like knowing this stuff. Yeah. Second reason, I wouldn't be able to pass the TAMS physical.
I love you. It is fucking tough. When Kat was on. So for those of you that if you're just tuning in, if you just found this podcast and you're like, wow, season 9 is fucking lit. I'm telling you, you need to go back and you need to start at season 1 and make your way through. But we did an episode with a tactical paramedic, Kat Campbell. And when she described the physical, I was like, holy shit. Holy shit. That is a lot. And that's for paramedics. That's not even for law enforcement. It's harder than I want to say, honestly, I'm not going to lie. I think it's harder than most of the law enforcement fitness tests that we have. Honestly, I was like, oh shit. I'm like, well, good luck with that. I'm glad that you passed that. Well done for you.
Yeah. I passed it once when I was still playing rugby 6 days a week. Yeah. And training for half marathons and didn't have a million injuries. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't go to school. I have a million reasons, million excuses why I'm I can't.
No, it is. It is a super crazy fitness test. And I'm sure, like you said, if you train for it and you prepared for it, you could pass it. But in the time frame, you're like, I'm going to do this and and I do think this suits you really well though. Because I do remember talking about it before, in our other episode, and you did have a really good take on like, again, the pharmacology, like the kind of like intricacies of it. And I feel like you're a really good puzzle solver in that like you're presented with a scenario or a situation or like a call and you're like, let me figure out what the fuck happened here. Because again, you only get limited information, right? Especially if you're coming on, we just found this guy. We don't know who he is. Or like, a parent or say a loved one calling, like, I don't know what happened. He's just not waking up. I don't know. And having to puzzle it out. So I think, I totally think this suits you. So then what was like the application process like? Like, what did you have to do to get into this? You talked a little bit about the training, but like to get the actual onto the team.
So once they opened it up, you had to be around 2 years as an advanced care paramedic. You had to write an essay about leadership and how you would what you would bring to the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I suck at essays, so that was a process of me sitting down and asking for help. Of course, like I asked a lot of my friends, like, what should I write about? Like, how do I explain this? And then you did an interview as well. And there was about 20 of us that applied for this, and they hired 12 of us.
Oh,
we
wow.
were the biggest class that they took on. And so they have their ways of how they pick and choose, like on my knowledge. And that's, I feel like that's how most of our special teams go. Like you have to be at least 2 years in, and you have to write, of course, some kind of essay. They look over your whole file, basically. Do you have a million complaints? Like, are you you show up to work? Like, you're a good employee. That's what they're looking for, right? And then you just do an interview. And I've been told that paramedics are not very good at interviews. So I was a little nervous. However, I'm good at talking to people. So they said I did a good job with my interview.
That's awesome. So then how big is the team in total?
I think currently we have 35 members.
And this is all across Alberta?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
For sure there's around 35. Could be a bit more now because we still have kind of some not doing it full time, like they're casual and stuff like that.
Yeah. So then do you get called to calls outside of Edmonton? Like I mean, obviously I would assume Sherwood Park, St. Albert, surrounding areas, but are you going Lac La Biche or Cold Lake? Yeah, you are. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we actually have to have a 48-hour bag ready to go, especially for forest fires. So currently we're keeping an eye on Manitoba right now because Manitoba's on fire. Mm-hmm. And I think there's one in Swan Hills, that's town. Yeah, there's a fire there. So we actually will get dispatched out or sent out to any towns that might be evacuated because of the equipment we also have. So we actually have a multi-patient vehicle, which is a bus, EMS bus. Mm-hmm. So we had to get trained on that. Thank God I already had my air brakes when I was fired.
Yes.
A lot of my colleagues in my group there, my team there, had to get their air brakes done. And that thing can hold up to 8 stretchers and 13 walking patients. Yeah.
Wow.
It's huge. It's used quite a bit actually within the province. Huh. Because recently, I think it was a couple months ago, Redwater had to be evacuated.
Yeah.
So it went up there and helped get everybody out of the hospitals, right?
Oh my God. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. I was like, there's a bunch of people that got hurt in Redwater. I didn't even think about evacuating the hospital. Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah. They're all bed bounded, right? So that's a big thing too. Can't have one ambulance doing that, right? You only take one patient.
Yes.
Right? Or someone lives at home and they're wheelchair bounded. We might maybe use the ambulance for that situation over the bus. Right?
Yeah.
So that thing goes out quite a bit. Currently it's at Fleet figuring out why it has an oil leak, but he likes to break down quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, as do all emergency vehicles that are used. They're like, actually, I need a break, so I'm just going to spring an oil leak right now.
I'm like, I just need a timeout. Me too, bud. Me too.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Right? Oh my gosh. That is so cool, though. And I did, again, I didn't think about it. I was thinking, again, mass casualty. You've got a Humboldt crash, or you've got a, something like that needs to be mobilized, and we need to, or again, I was going to say Zamboni, not the Zamboni. On the ice fields, those ice field trucks, when that one flipped.
That flips,
having to bring that in, that's, I could totally see that, but I didn't even think about a hospital being evacuated.
Yeah,
that is homes. Really, oh my God, yeah. Oh shit, duh. Yeah. Hello, Nikki. Oh, wow. And
there's a lot to it.
So then how are you guys coordinated? Like, are you on like a call out list? Like, hey, this fire just fucking is about to engulf Swan Hills. Your pager goes off because I'm from fucking 1985. Your pager goes off and says, "Come to work," or you get a text that says, "Hello, come to work."
Basically. Yeah, we had pagers when I started.
Okay, so I'm right. Okay.
Yeah. Number 2 volume, the second choice. That was the most annoying sound that would wake you up because you were terrified you would sleep through a call, so you had to put it on number 2 so you'd hear it go off. Yeah, and then you wanted to throw it though and break it. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't get a call.
I didn't hear anything. I heard nothing.
Yeah,
shit.
That sound haunts me. If I ever hear that sound, I'm like, oh, call. What's happening? But yeah, like besides that, we also still have trailers too for mass casualty incidents.
Okay.
So we actually have like a medical support unit, the MSU, and it has like extra stuff, like field stretchers, has trauma supplies, oxygen for an MCI. With that, we also have a trailer that has a tent, has generator for heating, and we can set up like a whole incident command center. And when we did our training, we were able to get it up in 9 minutes.
Wow.
So I was like, this is, when I first look at it, like, holy crap, how am I going to do this? This is overwhelming. I'm not going to be efficient at it. And then once you started doing it, you're like, oh, okay, cool. I like this.
Yeah.
We have like a bunch of extra equipment in there, whiteboards so we can write things down. Because like the scenario we did for the training was a building collapsed. We have trapped people. And that's another big specialty for us to deal with is crush syndrome. When people have like big weights crushing their legs or their arms, and how to properly get them out, because that's a very delicate situation, especially when it comes to the body, not even just the structure of it. Because that's fire's thing. Fire is going to deal with the structure aspect and make sure it's safe, but I'm there to deal with the patient. So it's nice to have that we can have these tents put up, have heat. And if we do have anybody that is just trapped and not injured, they can go and we get them out. Okay, go to that area. We'll maybe have the bus nearby. Be like, hey, we're bringing you 5 green patients. And this is like our triage, like MCI. We have color coordinated. So green is walking wounded, we call it. Yellow is delayed, but needs to get to the hospital. Red is immediate. And black is dead.
Okay.
Yeah. Or what we just say, dead. So we can't say that because we get in trouble now.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. They're no longer with us.
Yeah. We just have to say that. People like to listen to our radios and misunderstand what we're saying. Yep.
Totally.
We'll have all these like extra units attached, but then if it's going to be 3 hours where someone is getting out, like we need something set up. Like we can't be sitting in the ambulance, right?
Yeah.
That also involves we have to have second radios. So now I'm hanging out with 2-3 radios trying to like talk to fire command, maybe even EPS command, because now we're shutting down a whole road, right? And public will come around too. So EPS has to deal with that. And then now I'm dealing with all my crews coming in because now we have to deal with the hospital too, because now I'm bringing them 30 injured people.
Yeah.
We only have 2 trauma sites.
Right.
Yeah. So then we have to start thinking like, okay, well, we have 8 people that can walk to the bus. Okay, maybe they can go to Leduc Hospital. Maybe they can go to Strathcona Hospital. St. Albert, right? So we have to start managing that because we can't slam all these patients into the U of A or the Royal Alex. Not enough space.
Yeah. So then how many people would get called out? Like if there was something, I mean, obviously I'm like assuming it like depends on like how many casualties you think you're going to have, but like, so let's use your training example. So the building collapsed. Did they say like, we need 12 of you, 12 people need to come?
Yeah. So it will eventually, first it'll go to somebody that's just available, any ambulance, any peer U. So mostly IRP members are on the peer U's, so SUVs. We're not on the ambulances. Like we're strictly on the peer U.
Oh, cool.
Because of our equipment. Because we have, besides all this stuff, we also have a lot of antidotes for poisons and chemical injuries. So we have a fancy little backpack that has all that stuff. So we'll get attached as well to those calls. And so we'll hang out with the incoming ambulance. We'll figure out a game plan, and then we'll tell our dispatch, hey, we need a tap channel because this would be so much talking, right? We can't take up the main channel. And we'll start telling dispatch, okay, I'm going to need 5 ambulances here now. And we'll start like figuring out an egress area to like, hey, you're taking this patient, go, go, go. And then if we have time, then we might actually deploy our bus or the tents, especially if it's minus 30. Right? So we're going to need something with heat. So like with how it gets called out is that on a 24-hour shift or 12-hour shift, we always have we have 4 IRP peer use that are on every 12 hours.
Okay.
Now, people can call in sick, stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
So if you're not on those vehicles full time, you might actually be on the ambulance because you just didn't get the seniority to be sitting on one of them. And you'll get reassigned to that peer U because it's such a high, like we need these staffed.
Yeah.
Those are priority. So someone could be on a truck on the south side and say I call in sick because I'm on a full-time IRP peer U, and I say I call in sick, they will get now my spot. So they're available. Okay. So I can go to any call throughout the day. Like I can go to anything, but if one of these certain things that I deal with, I have more training on, I'll get reassigned to that call.
Gotcha.
Big structure fires or forest fires, I should say. We have a WhatsApp group, so we just talk to each other that way and just say like, hey, heads up, this is happening. Like,
yeah, smart.
Get ready.
Yeah. Super smart. And so so the training was a month. You said like at least a month. And then so from there, what have you had to deal with over the last 3 months? Have you had some stuff that you're like, holy shit, I am rolling out and I'm doing this and like this is happening?
Yeah. So I had one good call where I think I ended up actually texting it to you when it came to like calls that you will always remember.
Yeah.
This is a new one for me.
Like, did I put this one in? Because this happened, I'd already finished the show and launched it. Yes. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
This one was crazy. So this call came in as a person on fire. And so we didn't get attached initially because normally we get attached automatically to the structure fire calls because of our training. And this came in as a person on fire. So that was some like litigations that we had to deal with afterwards. Be like, hey, anytime there's any fire, just attach us.
Yeah.
just attach us.
Just click the button.
So a crew overheard this and said, hey, you guys might want to go to that call. And then sure enough, we hear it on the radio. So we started like making our way there. So the crew was pretty close to this call. So unfortunately, this gentleman was smoking his drugs, using his crack pipe, and they love to use blowtorches to light up their crack pipes. So he was doing down, so probably heroin or fentanyl, and had too much. So he was like collapsing, moving forward, falling down. Hence why we call it down.
Yeah.
And it was dry grass that he was in. So grass caught on fire. He caught on fire. So the crew gets there with the fire department. They put him out. And so now the crew now has a burn victim. And so we are 5 minutes away from them. Like we pinned it pretty quickly to get there as fast as we could. Because when it comes to anyone that is a burn victim, we have 2 issues that we have to deal with. First one is carbon monoxide, right? Because it's smoke inhalation. If you're in a structure fire, even if you're outside, like all that grossness is going into you. Yeah. With that also, you have cyanide poisoning with that. We've come
because the chemicals.
Yeah. We've come a long way with like fire's done an amazing job of making houses less flammable. However, we have a lot of plastic now.
Yes.
The cyanide poisoning. So that's when we have the antidote for cyanide poisoning. It is $2,500 per kit.
What?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. They told us in training. I was like, okay, don't mess around with that.
You're like, so that's not the one we're playing with.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, cool. Yeah. Like, hey, good to know.
Yeah. Put that one in the special pocket.
Yeah. We have 2 of those on per IRP vehicle. So yeah, the crew is ready to go. Like they got to go to the hospital. Like this guy's not doing well because you have so much other things to deal with that patient, right? They're burnt. They're going to lose their airway. A big thing with burn victims is that their airway will close up very quickly because of soot.
Oh, okay.
You have to intubate them very quickly. At the same time, it could also be like already closed up. So you have to crank them, got to cut the throat open and put the tube right in the throat.
Good God. Good God.
It's a little stressful.
Yep. Fuck. Yep.
Yeah.
You think a little stressful? I think that's more than a little stressful. That's shit. That's shit in pants. I know I did this in training. Oh fuck. I hope I can remember how to do it. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Right. Yeah, I was like, oh dear God. So I was on my training for this. So I was on what we call mentorship.
Yeah.
So I was at least with another IRP member to help me guide through this. And so I told him, I was like, I want to deal with the cyanide kit. I've dealt with the burn victim. I've done those calls, done the crazy intubations, but I haven't dealt with this kit.
Yeah.
And it is not easy to deal with. He's like, yeah, cool. So the crew is actually backing out because they're like ready to go. Like, where are you guys? So I'm literally running to the ambulance and open the door. And I was like, holy crap. I was not expecting how badly burnt this guy was. Well over 70% burns. And yeah, I was like, oh, and there was like the ambulance was a gong show in the back because like kits are like all of our supplies are everywhere because they're trying to do 6 million things. Mm-hmm. There's just 2 of them in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're trying to sort out that stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get the cyanide kit ready because we know this is what's gonna help him. But there's also that ethic side of things too, where it's like, this is gonna help you, but I still think you're gonna die from your injuries because you have over 70 burns. Mm-hmm. But let's give you a fighting chance. Mm-hmm. Right? That's not our call to make on those certain calls we can, but that one, yeah, let's get you to the hospital. That thing is a pain to deal with. It's also red once you like redilute it. So you have to put like 200 mils of saline in this vial. It comes in, start like mix it up, and it's pure red. Mm-hmm. Of course, it stained my hands. So I was like, freaking move.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was able to give that, and we actually did see really quickly, he actually started being more alert, which was not a good thing in the scheme of things.
Yeah, because now you're aware of what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, so I was like, give him more ketamine, give him more fentanyl, like, because we had to play that balance game, right? So it was really cool to like actually give a treatment that I haven't done yet. Mm-hmm. So I was very fascinated to do that, and also like very critical patient. Unfortunately, he did end up dying from his injuries, but I still got a huge learning curve. I was just like, holy crap. And it was 8:00 at night. We still had 10 more hours to go.
You're like, so just kicking off the ship with the holy fuck.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, all of us stuck for the rest of our shift because everyone always asks us, what does a dead body smell like? And you can like, yeah, I can tell you, but I'm like, it's its own category. Mm-hmm. It depends on how long they've been dead for, and if it's summer. But a burnt patient, oof, that's its own category. Yeah, it is not good. Not good.
That is so crazy, dude. That is so. I'm so glad you were with somebody though, because can you imagine you were by yourself? Oh my, and that's like one of your first fucking calls in this new role, like a once in a lifetime call for anybody that's in this role is like one of your first ones. Like, holy shit, man.
Yeah. And then I was so grateful that I had like my buddy with me to be like, because I was fumbling with it too, and the box is cardboard that it comes in, so it always rips, and then you can't hang it. And it's just like
seriously.
Yeah, I'm like, this is what the hospital staff doesn't have to deal with. I'm in a moving vehicle. We're getting tossed around everywhere. Like, things are going everywhere.
That is crazy. Holy shit, man. Yeah. I remember that because you texted me, you're like, oh, I've got a story for you. And I was like, fuck, the podcast already went out. But I'm glad we saved that for this one. Because
it worked out perfectly.
Fucking crazy. So, you really can't top that story. That's insane. But what else as part of this role are you kind of looking forward to, or what are you most interested in the kind of specific things that you can do? I know you really love the emergency management and stuff like that, but is there something? No, and again, it's so hard because as first responders, we're looking forward to the crazy shit, fucking weird calls. We can't wait for that stuff. But what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, honestly, I do look forward to I hate saying this, but getting sent out somewhere because there's a massive forest fire, which I don't want that to happen because we know how bad it can be. Mm-hmm. Yeah. However, it's going to happen. It's so dry in Alberta. So many people throw their cigarette butts out the window or have campfires when they shouldn't, or don't put them out properly. Yeah. So I think I heard on the radio, they did stats. It was 63% of our fires last year was because of humans.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, it wasn't from
Totally.
lightning, which
Yeah.
that's Mother Nature. We get it. Let's be prepared for it. But
Yeah.
yeah, 63% was because of idiots.
I'm surprised it's not 93% because
Yeah.
like legitimately the amount of stupid fucking people that are in the world, like we were talking about it before we started recording, fucking stupid
Yeah.
people. People are
Right?
so stupid and they have no like understanding of their small act that they think is like not a big deal can
Yeah.
cause such a massive disaster. Like, yeah, totally.
Putting a whole town out of like commission, basically.
Yeah.
Kill people. Like, it is insane. So yeah, I would like to experience that of like taking the bus out, like having to drive it 4 or 5 hours to get it out somewhere, and seeing how like Red Cross works, and seeing how there's a bunch of other like teams out there for just in Canada in general that have emergency teams set up for these stuff, and they set up like in-field hospitals and have like or a camp set up for a town that's been just ripped apart from a fire. And
would you like potentially liaise with like the military on something like that?
I can see it happening. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that one, but I'm like, I can see that happening where we would need to have some extra hands with the military, especially unfortunately, we know how human nature can be when you're confined and you can't do anything. You can have some fights, you can have some thefts happening, and I know Marissa Shipson.
Yeah.
Can't remember her now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll always be Shipson to me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. She went up to Fort Mac, sheriff, and because people were breaking into people's houses. And like, even though the house is like the whole town's on fire, but they had to go up there to make sure, like, help out with police and stuff like that. The RC's up there, and yeah, they had to be aware that people were breaking into things. Like, like that just shows like humanity at times.
Yeah. Sadly,
but, So I do look forward to it if I get the experience. I'm also terrified of how my lungs are going to do because I don't have the greatest lungs.
Yeah.
But my bosses have said that we do get set up with a respirator and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so if we end up becoming patients, we will get sent home pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like, go in a confined space with clean air. I'm like, okay, I can do that.
I guess I should do that. I guess I could.
Exactly. Yeah. And like that one, I look forward to just to see how that is, because I know a lot of members have done it because of how many forest fires we've had every season, you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then, like, honestly, any of our poison control calls or chemical injuries, like, I would love to learn more about that and actually see it, because we have quite a bit of antidotes for them, and it'd be nice to actually use them.
Yeah.
Like, I can do all the training for it, but if I never give it to somebody, I'm still going to fumble with that treatment a little bit until I've actually used it.
Yeah. Like I said, I just think it's so cool because, again, like, you think about these like roles like paramedic, advanced care paramedic, you know, like, and you have no clue, TEMS, even like about TEMS, about that there are these like sub groups within the greater career that, and this is what they specialize in, and this is what they do, and this is, you know, all the additional training that they have and the additional tools that they have to be able to like assist in these things or come in and take over and be doing those things. I just think it's so neat and such an awesome opportunity for you to be able to like get in on that and do it, which is amazing. And so, like, from this, is there like, will you just stay in this role? Like, is this like not like a dual role? Cause like you said, you're a full-time ERP member.
Yeah.
But like, will you, like, is there like when I was talking to Catherine about TEMS, like an age out, like, or you're only allowed to do it for 2 years or 5 years or something, and then you have to change out and new people come in and get an opportunity?
No, this one you can stay on as long as you want.
Cool.
Yeah. So you can be on the team until you retire. As long as you're keeping up with your training, then yeah, you can stay on it.
And so what's your take on it? You're just going to ride it out and see how she goes? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of people want me to be a supervisor at work. I'm not ready for that yet. Yeah. I still want to enjoy my job. Yeah, it's a big responsibility being the boss. So I want to kind of do this for a couple more years, I think. And yeah, just see how it is, get more experience with it. And then I can use that as a supervisor, because now when those calls come in, I'm like, oh, I've experienced this. Okay, I know what they're freaking out about. Hey, I can do this for you. That's one less thing off your plate. You can focus on that.
Yeah.
because I've experienced that, and I want, hopefully my supervisors right now will do that for me.
Yes.
But that's the ultimate goal. I do have days where I'm still thinking maybe Thames.
Yeah.
But it'll be like 2 to 3 years before I can do that, because that fitness is not easy. At the same time, though, the reason why I got peer review trained, so just that part, paramedic response unit and little SUV, is that I was tapping out being on the ambulance. I was getting a little annoyed with any call I came in. Like I love my job, love being a paramedic. However, some of those calls are starting to really get under my skin, and I started noticing demeanor change. And so I was like, I need to change. So I was like, I want to get peer review trained. And when you are a peer review, you only go to high acuity calls. It's the only things you get attached to. So you're not going to, I stubbed my toe. Now, someone could call it in saying they're dying, and you get there like, oh, I stubbed my toe. I'm like, oh, God, man.
You're like, really now? Did you really do that?
So like when it's not high acuity and I get there and I do an assessment, I let the crew know. I'm supposed to get there first. That's the whole idea of a peer review. I'm kind of sitting around different areas of the city, and I'll go assess it, figure things out. If it is critical, I tell the crew, get here fast. If not, I'm like, I tell them to slow down. And I'm like, don't come here with your lights, sirens. It's all good. Because it's dangerous going fast throughout the city, especially with ambulance. No, they don't. Yeah. They don't know what an ambulance is. Like, oh my God, what do I do?
Yes.
So painful.
Yes.
And then I leave. If I'm not needed, if it's not high acuity, I get to leave. So I get a little break in my day now where I'm not going to the hospital and then we're getting yelled at the hospital. Like, I don't have to deal with that stuff anymore. Now, if I'm backing up a BLS crew, though, so that's the 2 PCPs around that ambulance, sometimes I do have to transport with them because I give them pain control, or they're actually quite sick and I might have to intubate them. They don't have that practice. So sometimes, like, I do leave my SUV on scene. I just leave it. And I'm like, well, hopefully no one breaks into it. And then I go with the crew, and hopefully my soup will drive me back to my peer review. Or I've had to take a cab a few times. You're
like, hello, I'm in my uniform. Can you just Uber me back to my car over there? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm like, this is awkward. This is creepy. I'm just in uniform. I have a radio. I have my controlled substance on my belt. And I'm like, hey. And I just drive me. Just get me to my vehicle. Because I did that last year. I got a stabbing on White Ave. And I was backing with BLS crew. So this is not even IRP related. It's just peer review, full time, all the time. I'm going to always go to the high acuity calls. So got dispatched out, stabbing call. I got stabbed 4 times in the stomach / like right flank area. Yeah, and of course, when everyone gets stabbed, they have to be like run their mouth.
Look, there's a reason they got fucking stabbed, bud. That's why.
In 30 seconds of this guy being in the back of the ambulance, I was like, oh, you fucked around and found out, didn't you?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. That's why
I literally had to scream at him and say, if you stop moving and let them get an IV on you, I will give you fentanyl because you've been stabbed. And he looked at me, he like dead stop, looked at me right in the eye. He's like, I like fentanyl. I'm like, cool, bro. Stop moving.
You're like, I know you do. I can tell right now. I can tell that you do because you got stabbed. So yeah.
So I just left my SUV there and I was like, let's go. We're right by the U of A. Let's go call it in. Like, give the trauma team a heads up. They're coming in with this.
Yeah.
So I just left my SUV there.
You just have like the best calls, buddy. Like every time I talk to you, I'm like, oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. Well, like I said, you share such good stuff and such good information. Is there anything that we've missed in like kind of this new role that you're doing? Anything that you wanted to like add on to? Because I want to jump into our rapid fire questions, but I also want you to have the opportunity to talk about this super cool role and make sure that we have covered everything.
One more thing I want to talk about with it is, this might start some things.
Oh, I love it.
Is immunizations. So many parents aren't getting their kids immunized. They don't believe in vaccines. So we've had quite a bit of outbreaks of measles. And so we get dispatched out to those calls because of our extra training with PPE. It's like your personal protective equipment. Yeah. And like with the extra training with decon and stuff like that, right? So we are getting called out to those stuff to help out crews. So like what you should be wearing. Like, do you need to be in like a gown, face shield, goggles? Like, do you need to put an N95 on? right? And if like, God forbid it is Ebola, which we had 2 scares recently in Canada, like here in Edmonton. 2 patients recently came from Uganda where there is a current outbreak.
Right.
And they had very similar symptoms of how Ebola starts.
Right.
And thank God it was just malaria, but even that isn't good.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So we do a lot of training with putting on an A70 suit. So it's like a Tyrex suit.
Okay.
And it is, you sweat so fast in that thing.
Yeah.
It's literally just like wearing plastic. And you have to put on 2 sets of gloves. You have to have a full like hood over you, and then like a bonnet on top of that. And like you have to get size for your own suit. You have to wear rubber boots, these massive like thick rubber gloves. And that's for like, we train for that for Ebola.
Yeah.
And we actually have a specialized stretcher for those patients that's not utilized yet because it has so much like things we have to work it out before it can be utilized.
Yeah.
But with that, like we have that training. So when we do get these calls where, you're going to a 3-year-old with measles and kids unconscious and all that stuff, but we're like, well, now we have to get gowned up. I don't want, like, yes, most of us have the vaccine because our parents are like, oh, go get this done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who cares if you faint from a needle? Get it done. Like, your life.
Yep.
But yeah, we're going to those. So now we have to make sure everyone's like getting gowned up. Is there more kids in the house? Because are they not vaccinated? Now they're right beside this, like their brother or sister that has it.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we have to call them the U of A, the Stollery, give them a heads up. We're bringing potentially measles kid, right?
Highly contagious. Yeah.
Yep. Big time. And so we're seeing a lot of that. It's very frustrating to see that stuff because we didn't have like any measles breakouts when I first started my career. There was none of this stuff. And so that's getting a little frustrated. It's very similar to like COVID, of course, of everyone's like, no, you're not putting that in my body. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure you probably just did cocaine last weekend, but that was made in someone's bathtub. Yeah. You want that in your system, but you don't want to put a vaccine that could potentially save your life. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I actually saw a friend of mine who'd posted on Facebook and, oh, my poor baby is so sick and he got measles, and I couldn't help myself. I was like, did he not get vaccinated? I put it in the comments and I probably got blocked. And I was just like, I just can't even because like, how, what the fuck? Are you stupid? Like you didn't vaccinate your kid and now you want to go on Facebook and beg for fucking like money, sympathy? Well, and just what the fuck were you thinking? Like, what did you like? Did you not think that was going to happen? And the other side of that to me too is like, and you're on this post talking about, oh my God, he's suffering so badly. And like, it's so bad. And like, you could have prevented it. Like you could have literally, as a mom, you could have prevented your child going through all this, both of them, because there's brothers. You could have prevented that. And you could have prevented somebody else's kid getting it because now your kid has been wherever the fuck they've been. Like I again, people are fucking stupid.
Like I said, this will start a whole thing, me saying it, but I don't know. I feel like it needs to be said. Like,
totally.
There are people that have figured this stuff out. These smart, intelligent doctors and researchers and all this stuff that I can't even start to understand. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they figured it out. It's just like how penicillin was figured out. Like
yes, exactly. Is the like when you get there and you're going to save these kids, are the parents like, oh, fuck, we fucked up? Or are they just like oblivious? No, of course they're fucking oblivious. Fuck. Oblivious. That makes me even more mad. Because I'd be like, if they were like, oh shit, we fucked up. Like we made a big mistake. I'd be like, okay, fair. Like people fuck up. People think they're smarter than they are. But like.
Most of the time they're just so oblivious and so stuck in their belief, which I'm all for someone. If you have a strong belief for something, good for you. But when it's been proven over and over that it's dumb, just listen to people that have more knowledge on it. Yeah. That have studied it for decades, centuries. Yeah. But it's just so funny how people are like, I won't put that in my body. And there's actually a famous quote during all my training. I can't never remember how to pronounce his name. So he's like the father of toxicology and pharmacology. And he literally says, I think I have it written down, everything is a poison There is nothing which is not. Only the dose differentiates a poison from a remedy. It's so true.
That is, yes.
Right? It depends on how much you take. So everything.
Totally.
Yeah. But you tell someone to take a vaccine to maybe help make sure you don't die from COVID or measles. No, I'm not putting that in my body. But you'll go drink a bottle of alcohol, no problem. Technically, that's a poison too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is very profound. I've never heard that. I really like that. That is very profound because it's totally true. I like in life, there has to be balance. Yeah. Oh, that's very good.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, especially in what you're dealing with, like you said, with poisonings, with toxicology, with like infection. Yeah. That's very cool.
Right? Huh. Like how many people figured out they're allergic to penicillin? Yes, it was made to make sure you fought an infection, but it sucks that you actually are anaphylaxis to penicillin. Right? Yeah. Like, fortunately, we have to find things out. Like, and that's like sometimes, you might actually get really sick from the vaccine. It is a virus going into your system, but your system's trying to build up those T cells to be like, hey, we don't like you, and we're going to build up all these like antibodies to help fight. That's the whole point of a vaccine. But sometimes your body's like, no, you win.
Yeah.
And then that's why you win. Yeah. And you are now allergic to that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, you always share such great information with us. You always have, like I said, stories and info. And today we learned science, which I love. It's great. Like taking away very, very pertinent information, which I love. And I've mentioned your podcast and like so many other podcasts. Like I'm like, oh yeah, my friend Sheila, when she was talking about like map finding, like one of the things you need to do, like actually know your way around in case things are like lockdown or construction. And then on actually, was it the end of season 8? I can't remember which one I was talking about you. I couldn't remember what you called them, Zero to Heroes. Now that you said it, it's fucking in my head. But I was like, oh, because she's from the States. And so it was a different like way that they would do their training to go from like essentially what we would call primary care to advanced care. And I was like, yeah, because my friend Sheila talks about them and they're like, she has this really funny name. Basically, they don't know fucking shit except for their book stuff. But then they get on the street and they're like, fuck, I don't know what to do. I was like, it was really hard to remember what it was. But yeah, Zero to Hero. Zero to Hero. I do like that. Okay, well, I want to wrap up. I love the rapid fire questions but you've already, okay, well, actually, we can ask because now it's a different role. I will ask you the same one because it is my favorite. Okay, now what's the favorite food or snack on shift?
Stillburger,
yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Stillburger. It's just like you hold it in one hand and it's just like you can eat it.
You can eat it. You can eat it while driving. You can eat it while charting. You can eat it. Yes, you can. Totally. Bergs all the way. I do love it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to give you a couple different ones just because, again, we've kind of gone through some of your stuff. Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die?
Ooh. Honestly, I think a car accident.
Dude, me too. Yeah. Okay, now I have to knock on fucking wood so we don't fucking die in a car accident.
Yeah, knock on wood. I just think I have a higher possibility because I'm literally driving all the time with my job.
Totally. I just drive like a dickhead, so I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going.
And I've noticed with me being on the PRU now, no one stops for even more. Like, at least they can kind of see an ambulance.
Yeah.
They really see a fire truck.
Yes.
And then they're scared of getting a ticket from EPS.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, in my little SUV, the amount of times I've almost been T-boned now is insane.
Yeah.
Like, I literally, I've always stopped at red lights when I'm going because I'm clearing the intersection. I will literally stop. A car will look at me and then continue going. And I'm just like, cool. I'll just
wait for you to carry on your way while I try and rescue somebody who's fucking dying. Like, no worries. No worries. Well, and I think honestly, and I'm not against it because I do agree the tow truck drivers need people to slow the fuck down and not be blasting past them. But I feel like because we've gone and put blue and red lights or blue and orange lights sometimes on tow trucks, people now are just like, oh, fuck it, it's a tow truck. Oh, fuck it. And they're still speeding. And then if you get close enough and you realize it's a cop, people hit the brakes and like, oh, fuck, it's actually a cop. But like people are just disregarding it now because they're like, oh, fuck, it's just a fucking tow truck. And they're still ripping by. So even when you do have an emergency and you're going lights and sirens without the blue, people are just like, oh, it's just a tow track, right? It's like, no, get the fuck out of the way. I'm trying to respond.
I don't get it. So like I never understood. I've always said, if we want to make money for EMS, like budgeting, put a photo radar camera in front of an ambulance.
Yes.
Yeah, and have it set. If our lights are on and we're parked and you zoom past this picture, we would make a killing.
Yes. Yep. I do like that. I do like that. Okay. If a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know?
Ooh. Man, that's a rough one. Oh, what would I want to know? I think I would want to know if I get my dream house.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Because I don't have kids. I am not planning on having kids. I hit an age where I'm like, I'm good. Maybe if I was younger, sure, I'll start a family. But now I'm like, no. So I'd rather put all my money into a dream house.
Yes, I like that. I like it. Okay. And so were you thinking, because I know we were talking about you want to move, were you thinking acreage or you still want to stay in town?
Well, I would love an acreage. Ideally, love an acreage. Like 1 to 2 acres, like nothing crazy. It's just me. Like, I don't need bigness of it and the maintenance and all that stuff. Ideally, I would love to move back to Beaumont. My friends are there, family's there. I miss the whole small town aspect, even though Beaumont's not small anymore. But it still has the vibe. Yeah. It still has a small town. I miss just walking uptown. I miss that. Or just walking over to my friend's house. Door's not even locked. You just walk in. You go straight to the fridge for a beer now. And and you just sit down on the couch. You're like, oh, it's day. Like, I miss that stuff. And living in the city, like, I'm not far from Beaumont, but still, it's not the same. Yeah. So, ideally, yes, I love an acreage where I have 0 neighbors. I don't have to make small talk because I do it all day. I do love it where I have 0 neighbors. I can just go home and not talk to anybody. I 100%, like, since moving out here, people are always like, oh, like, but you drive all the time. Like, you drive to town every day and you're like putting so many miles on your car. And I was like, I don't give a fuck because when I come home, I don't have to talk to anybody. I can just be at my house and there's nobody around and I can just fucking hang out at my house. Is the best thing in the entire life. If I did not have to leave my house, I like legitimately would not leave. I would just stay there all the fucking time. Like every day I say to my husband, I'm like, can we just find a way that we don't have to like ever leave, like ever drive anywhere and we'll just stay here? Like, can things come to us and we'll just stay at this location? Like, I love that. So that's what I'm working on. I want that. Okay, one last one. Oh, this one's good. Okay, your house containing everything you own catches on fire. After saving your loved ones and your pets, you have time to safely make a final dash in to save one item. What would it be and why? I think this is funny because it's kind of related to what I do with. I am on stricter fire calls. Okay. I think first thing I could think of was my TV. Yeah? Yeah. I have a 65-inch TV. Yeah. You're going in. Yeah. I think it's my TV. It might also be my Oilers jersey. Yes. Fucking go oil. So for those of you that might be catching this not on real time, the Oilers have just clinched the Western Conference and they're going to the Stanley Cup Finals and they're playing Florida again. And we fucking hate Florida with every ounce of our fucking being. It's even worse now because now Marchand's on the team. So it's like I'm like, oh my God, we cannot let him. Come on, McDavid, get that cup. I know, literally. Yeah, so if you're catching this on the replay or catching this like 2 years down the road and you're like, well, I already know what happened. Okay, well, we didn't know and we're fucking over here, fingers crossed, Oilers jerseys on, let's fucking go Oils. Just stressing out over this Oilers stuff right now. Oh, totally. Oh, girl, well, again, a fucking rock star interview. I love having you on the show. I'm going to definitely have you back again because I just, like I said, I love you always chime in with great stuff. You always have amazing stories. You always bring such good answers and knowledge. And yeah, it's a treat. Then I get to see you and I get to talk to you, which sometimes I do. I mean, we're coming into summer, so I will hopefully get to see you more often because I will be able to see you when
rugby's on, and hopefully at like
Yes.
a couple games and stuff like that. But yeah, total treat. Thank you so much. Any last words for our listeners?
I think the biggest one is just pay attention to when emergency response crews are driving around, maybe. Like, know what to do. It's in your learners. When you're getting your learners, it is pull over, like look and pull over and then stop.
Yeah, don't just keep like creeping along. Like fucking no.
I'm like, I always air horn those ones when they just like they move over, which thank you, because I'm always going to try to stay in the left lane, so I'm going to move to the right.
Yeah.
And then they just cruise in that right lane, and I'm like, I might actually have to turn right eventually, but you're just cruising in my way. So I always hit the air horn. I'm like, get out of my way.
All right, girl. Well, thank you again, and we will chat and we will catch up for a beer, and we will, just do our rugby thing. But yeah, amazing. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much for having me on again.
Well, that's it for today, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in, listening, giving me your time, your energy, and your attention. I completely appreciate it. Make sure you check out our next episode with another badass female first responder anywhere you get your favorite podcasts. And follow us on Instagram and Facebook at bluelinefitnesstesting.com. I hope you stay safe, keep your head on a swivel, and watch your six. Blue Line Fitness Testing is a premier law enforcement fitness testing and training center based in Edmonton. Specializing in helping individuals prepare for the physical demands of a career in law enforcement, we offer comprehensive fitness evaluations, specialized training programs, and classes tailored to meet the unique needs of our clients. Our facility hosts a range of classes and are committed to fostering a supportive and empowering environment where clients can achieve their fitness goals. Our team includes experienced trainers who bring specialized expertise in law enforcement, self-defense, personal training, and rehabilitation. We engage through our community through challenges, events, and our podcast, and we are dedicated to helping individuals succeed in their fitness journeys and career aspirations in law enforcement. Are you looking to get started with your career? Come see Blue Line Fitness Testing, and we'll get you there.